Okay. Oh, and here's Teddy. I'm going to say hello, Teddy. Hello, Teddy. Oh, so cute. Cute. Kisses. Okay, so yeah, I put a post in the group and said, what do people want? And the majority seem to be saying shoulders. So I'm always up for some shoulder action. So we'll focus on the shoulders. In terms of props, if you've got a belt, 2 bricks, you might want a blanket, a bolster. And I was going to end with a bit of release for the occipital. So if by any chance you happen to have 2 tennis balls in a sock, then you can use that. If you don't have that, not everybody has that to hand. I do understand that. There is an option. You can use the edge of the brick. And you can also do some self-massage. So I'll give some options for that. As always, take care of your body. If anything I'm suggesting doesn't work for you, feel free to do something else. It should feel good. So don't accept any sensations that don't feel good. Sometimes we can get into a bit of a mindset of thinking the more it hurts, the better it is. But actually, in this case, that's not correct. In fact, the better it feels, the better it is. So sometimes holding back, kind of less is more. So actually, I want to start with some jaw acupressure points because obviously everything's connected, and what's happening in the jaw can refer down to the shoulders. So if you're like me, have tension in your jaw, it can be nice to release it. So we'll start by sitting. They're a bit like hyper. Sitting and tuning in, maybe closing the eyes and just maybe feeling your sit bones on the ground, feeling nice gentle lift through the spine and feeling your breath. And just noticing what is there for you right now, especially noticing around the shoulders and the neck. Okay, so let's go for our acupressure points. So if you open your mouth, and this muscle that goes in between the upper and lower jaw, pushing just gently straight back onto that muscle. Okay, and then releasing that, just feeling the after effects of that just for a moment. And then putting your middle finger on the back edge of your jaw and pressing forwards as if you're trying to jut your chin forwards. Okay, and then releasing that, and again, just feeling into the after effects. And then we'll go for that one just in front of the flap of your ear. If you open your mouth, a little hole appears just there, and you're just pressing gently inwards into that hole. and then release that. Again, just tuning into what you can feel. And then moving your jaw, the lower jaw, so it goes round in a circle, a bit like a cow when a cow's kind of chewing the cud. So to one side and then down, and the other side and then up. I can't talk and do that at the same time. Hopefully you can't hear my jaw crunching. And then changing direction. Okay, and then moving your jaw in a circle parallel to the floor. So pressing it forwards to the side and back to the other side. Kind of tricky. It's for me anyway, this one. And back the other way. I have to close my eyes if I see myself, I can't do it. Okay, so that's the jaw things. And then let's just do a little bit of nice gentle release for the shoulders, so circling the shoulders. And back the other way. And then some seated cat-cow, so hands on the knees, rounding, and then arching. And then hug your arms and lift the arms up as you arch, and then bring them down as you round. Okay, and then bring the arms up as if you're taking off your jumper, and bring them over. And let's just lean back and windscreen wiper the legs. Just give the hips a little bit of movement. And then cross the legs the other way and moving from side to side, and lead with the shoulder so shoulder can come up and press over. So kind of like a snaky movement. You can add the arms so the arms can come over. And then maybe press forwards in a diagonal direction. Just getting the shoulders moving a little bit. Okay. And then one of my favorite things is to release the trapezius muscle. If you're like me and you do this a lot, then the traps really appreciate being released. So if you put one hand on your hip and then with the other hand, just grab that top of that muscle there and then move your head around. And then you can just see if you find any bits that feel particularly good and stay in one place, or if it all feels about the same, just keep moving around. Okay, and then release that, just tuning in to your shoulders with the eyes closed. One of my favorite things when we've done one side. So what I feel is the side that I've done feels way lower than the other side, and also somehow kind of energetically feels bigger. Maybe you feel something completely different, just tuning into what you feel. So let's do the other one. So hand on the hip, just that raises the shoulder a little bit, makes the muscle a bit more accessible, grabbing the muscle and then just gently squeezing it, and then moving your head around to explore and feel and release. Okay, and then again, just a moment to tune in and feel. So, kind of receiving the after effects of the work that we just did. Okay, then rolling over onto all fours, you might want to put the blanket underneath your knees at this point, and let's do some cat cow on all fours. And then coming into neutral and circling the shoulders and thinking about the shoulder blades on the back of the body sliding together, maybe sliding down, apart, and sliding up, and see if you can make that a nice smooth circle on the back of the rib cage. And changing direction. Okay, and then if you want a little bit of a stretch for the feet, you can tuck the toes and come back to kneeling, or if it's not comfortable for you to kneel, you can sit however you want to sit, and a bit of a stretch for the fascia around the front of the neck. So if you put your hands on your chest just to hold that skin still, and then tilt your head up, and then push your chin away from you. And hopefully you feel a nice stretch release on the fascia in the front of the neck. Okay, and then release that. Turn your head to look to one side, and the same thing there. Lift the chin and then press your chin away from you. And then release and turn your head to the other side. Lift the chin and press it away. And then release. Maybe tuning in to feel what you can feel. Maybe releasing the feet. And then just very gently stroking up around the front of the neck. And then feeling that. Coming back onto all fours, some arm, thread the needle. I think I'll turn side. Maybe I'll stay where I am. So taking one arm up, you can let your whole body twist around and then bring that hand behind the other hand, bring your ear towards the floor and then untwisting up. I'm flowing up and down a few times with that movement. And then let's stay down. And you probably know the options here, so you can stay here where you are, or you can take your leg out to the side as well. And you can take the other arm and bring it behind you. Either keep it straight or bend the elbow and bind around your back. Okay, and then releasing, bringing the arm over, bringing the leg in. Coming back up onto all fours, let's reach that arm back up and then reach that arm forwards, coming into quarter dog. So the other hand, the elbow can come underneath the shoulder, forearm parallel to the front edge of the mat. And reach the other arm forwards, bring your forehead down. Mine rests on my forearm. I don't know if that works out because of my body proportions, but resting the forehead down. And we'll stay for a few breaths here. Let's stay for a minute, actually. Okay, so coming back up onto all fours and maybe step your hands forwards and come forwards into a cobra or an upward dog. Maybe a bit of a wiggle of the hips from side to side. Pushing back into child's pose and just moving forwards and backwards between cobra, up dog and child's pose a few times. Okay, let's do one more. Once I start doing this, I don't want to stop. Okay, but let's do the other side. So coming back into a normal all fours, and then the other arm reaches up, let the whole body twist, and then flowing down, flowing up and down. And then the next time you're down, staying down, and again, your options to take the leg out to the side and to take the other arm over. We don't stay here for too long, just a few breaths. And then coming back And again, reaching that arm all the way up and then reaching forwards, and the other elbow comes underneath the shoulder. Keep reaching that arm forwards and bringing the forehead down. And again, we'll stay for 1 minute. Okay, releasing. Again, stepping your hands forwards, this time coming down onto your tummy, and we'll come into a Sphinx position. If you like Sphinx, if your body, your lower back, or some other part of your body doesn't particularly like Sphinx, then you can do crocodile, so you're resting your forehead on your hands. And we'll just do this as a counter pose, really, to taking a few breaths here. Okay, so the next pose I'd like to do is angel wings, where you lie on your arm. So you probably want something to rest your head on. So I'm going to use a brick to rest my head on. If you have boobs and your boobs get squashed when you lie on your tummy, you can take your blanket and roll it up and put it kind of underneath your boobs to create a kind of boob space. So that's my top tip for boobs. So let's do the right arm first. So the right arm, palm facing up, passes behind the other elbow. And what you don't want to do is this, you don't want to twist. We want to stay with the shoulders parallel to the floor and lie on that arm. And then have the head supported on the brick or block or folded up blanket, actually, would be nicer. Let's go for the blanket, shall we? And if you like the two-armed version, please feel free to do that. And we'll stay for 2 minutes. And if that really doesn't work for you, then you can sit up and bring your arm across the chest and hold it like this in a kind of more classic gym stretch. It's about halfway through. Okay, so releasing the pose. And maybe you want to be in Sphinx for a moment, or maybe you want to lie on your arms, lie on your forehead with your, sorry, I can't speak, lie with your forehead resting on your hands and just tune in and feel. This one always makes me feel really kind of floaty and kind of a bit spaced out, actually, in a nice way. Okay, so let's do the second side. So this time the left arm with the palm facing up slides underneath, and then we lie down, resting the head on something if you need to, or sitting up and drawing your arm across the chest. And again, we stay for 2 minutes. It's about halfway through. Okay. Releasing slowly. And again, either a Sphinx position or lying down, resting your forehead on your hands, and just feeling into the after effects of that shape. So moving now into a child's pose. So you can bring your hands back level with the chest and push yourself up and back. And I like to offer a few different options for the shoulders. So you can take a regular child's pose, whatever that is for you. You can also add something for the shoulders. So forehead down and hands on bricks. And the action is the same as a downward dog. So if you press down onto the bricks and try to get that external rotation, so you're turning your biceps up towards the ceiling and your triceps down towards the floor. So that's one option. And then another option is to bring your bricks a bit closer and rest your elbows on the bricks. Bring your hand to the floor. I'm going to take that option. And again, we'll stay for 2 minutes. Again, about halfway through. Okay, so releasing that and coming up to kneeling or sitting, and again, just feeling what's there to feel, feeling the after effects. And you're kind of allowing the pose to sink in somehow. Okay, so next we're going to lie on our back. So grab your belt, and we want the belt to be in a big long loop. So this was one of the special requests in our group. And it's a nice stretch for the back of the neck as well. So I need to fit in quite well. Just getting up my clock so I can lie. So lying back and placing the belt so that it goes behind your head, so that it's on the skull rather than on the neck, and then putting your foot in the other end of the strap. And you might have to play around a little bit with exactly how long the strap is, but ideally you find a angle, a length, a position where it's just effortless to stay there. And like I say, hopefully you've got a nice stretch on the back of the leg, and hopefully something nice happening on the back of the neck. And I think we'll stay here for 1 minute on each side, or maybe 2 minutes actually. Let's stay for 2 minutes. And of course, if it gets too much for the neck, or if you don't like it, you can keep your head down on the floor. And that's halfway through. Okay, so releasing, bringing your head down to the floor. And let's swap straight over, so swapping your legs. And if you want to, bring your head back into the strap. If you don't mind a bit of movement, you turn your head. So you bring one ear down to one shoulder and then the other ear down to the other shoulder. Hopefully something nice happens in your neck. And that's halfway through. Okay, let's release again, releasing the head first. And then bringing your leg down. Just having a moment. In between, you might just want to lie still, or maybe you prefer to hug your knees towards your chest and rock from side to side. Maybe stretch your arms over your head, maybe something else. Just tune into your body and let your body do what it wants to do. Okay, and then rolling yourself up to sitting and getting your 2 bricks. And we bring the bricks into a T shape. I'll just come closer so I can show you how. Well, this is how I put them anyway. This one I put on the kind of medium setting, and that goes underneath my head. And this one on the low setting to go underneath, in between the shoulder blades. So it looks like that. And then we lie back. You might have to fiddle about a bit, but the bottom edge of the brick roughly in line with your bra strap, and that brick underneath your head. And then you can bring your arms out to shoulder height, or you can also do cactus arms. And let's stay for 3 minutes. And gently breathing into the chest. And of course, if you don't have bricks, you could roll up a blanket and put it underneath your back and kind of drape yourself over the blanket. And that's 1 more minute. Okay, so releasing and coming up to sitting. And again, we take a moment to feel. And then coming into our final pose, really, which is Mountain Brook. So if you take your bolster and put it across the mat and come up with mermaid legs. And I'm going to put my brick there with the blanket on top to rest my head on. And then we come, so lengthening through the side. So the waist goes over the bolster and the arm comes over. And actually, where's my other brick? I have the other brick in the other hand. So then that can come over the head. And you might want to play around a bit with the angle. I find if I open out a bit, so I roll, so I'm facing a little bit up towards the ceiling. That gives me something really nice happening down the side body and around that shoulder. But you might want to be facing more kind of right angles to the ceiling. I guess it depends on your body, which you prefer. And we will stay for 3 minutes. And that's 1 more minute. Okay, so let's bring that top arm down first. And then roll towards the ground, bring the hand down, pushing yourself slowly up to sitting. And come around to sit, legs crossed, and again, maybe with the eyes closed, tuning in to the two sides of the body. Again, my two sides feel very different. The side that we were just stretching feels much longer and much more grounded, actually. Maybe some cat-cow. And then let's do the second side. So mermaid legs, just coming, kind of snuggling up to the bolster and then lengthening through the side body, bringing the back of the arm, back of the hand down onto the floor. There's my block in my other hand. Block in your other hand. And reach over and again playing around at different angles and see if you can find something or something good is happening for you. And again, we stay for 3 minutes. And that's 1 more minute. Okay, so bringing the top arm down first. Flowing towards the ground, pushing yourself up. And just feeling into your body for a moment. Yeah, maybe you want some movement. Maybe you want to stay in the stillness. And then we come into our final Shavasana with the option of this release. So if you have the two tennis balls or in a sock, then you want to place them on the back of the head. So just above the neck, kind of in between the ears, I guess, and place them on a block. So you put your block there, you put the tennis balls on the block, and then lie back. So the balls are on the back of the head. If you don't have the tennis balls, but you have a block, you can angle your block and put the edge of the block in a kind of similar position. Just kind of by the ridge actually works better. And that can give a really nice release as well. If none of those work for you, you can lie back and use your thumb to do a little bit of massage. So I would be pressing the thumb just underneath the ridge of the skull into those muscles there. So we'll just do that for a short time and then go into a straightforward Shavasana just for a few minutes. So let's go for this for 1 minute and then we'll go into a regular Shavasana. So that's about 1 minute. If it feels good for you to stay with the balls there, then feel free to stay. Otherwise, we'll go for Shavasana, the head on the floor, and we'll go for 3 more minutes. And then, of course, if you're in Shavasana and you'd like to stay there, please feel free to stay. But if you're ready to move on, then going through your usual process, whatever it is, maybe moving fingers and toes, ankles and wrists, maybe stretching, yawning, hugging the knees up towards the chest, having a little bit of a rock from side to side, and then rolling over onto one side and making your way back up to sitting when you're ready. And thank you so much for joining me.